Hey guys, it's Adrian, and if you're on the hunt for a wired security camera but you're not quite sure which one to go for, well, stick around because I've reviewed models from Reolink, TP-Link, AOSU, and Eufy. So let's take a closer look at all four of these cameras and you can decide which is best for you. When it comes to installing the cameras, the Reolink Duo 3 is the easiest to install. It just takes, two screws and it's a straightforward installation process. And because this is a PoE camera, it could just be powered by one cable. The TP-Link C520WS is the second easiest to install. It just requires, a power adapter that you could run into your house. The complicated installations are the AOSU floodlight cam and the Eufy E340 floodlight cam. Because they are floodlight cameras, they have, high power draw. You are going to need to shut off the breakers in your house to install these cameras. So it's a little bit more involved. So when it comes to recordings, all four of these cameras offer 24/7 continuous recording, which is pretty much a gold standard you should look for in any type of security camera. So they all win in this category. Since we have 24/7 recording on all of these camera bodies, the next thing we should discuss is storage options. And it's kind of a tie between the Reolink Duo 3 and the C520WS. Now with the Reolink Duo 3, we can only insert up to a 256 gigabyte micro SD card on there. And because it records in 8K footage, you're only gonna get about, 3.5 to 4 days of continuous playback, which is not a lot. So you'd have to buy Reolink's NVR unit, which comes with, a 2 terabyte hard drive, and you could probably switch that to a larger capacity. Then you could get months of video playback history. So you have expandability and versatility there. Now with the Tapo camera, you can insert up to an impressive 512 gigabyte micro SD card, so you get way more video playback history, but that's because it only records in 2K footage. The Reolink Duo 3 records in 8K footage, kind of a night and day difference there. And there is no kind of native NVR unit for the TP-Link camera model. The Eufy E340 floodlight cam and the AOSU floodlight cam Pro only allow you to insert up to 128 gigabytes, so it's the lowest out of all of the four camera bodies. However, with the Eufy model, you can buy their optional home base 3, and that lets you insert up to a 16 terabyte hard drive, which is pretty good, but it's an additional cost, same as you would be taking on an additional cost with the Reolink NVR unit. Let's talk about video resolution, and like I touched on earlier in storage, the Reolink Duo 3 just blows all of these out of the water with that impressive 8K footage with a 16 megapixel sensor. Now the AOSU model and the Eufy model cap out at 3K video quality, and then the Tapo C520WS caps out at 2K, so it's the lowest offering out of all of them. And of course, you do have to factor in storage space. Obviously, the higher the video resolution and bitrate, the more storage it's going to use. But if you want just the best video quality possible, it's easily the Reolink Duo 3. Let's talk about video smoothness, and of course, the higher frames per second you have while reviewing video, the smoother video is going to look. So the Tapo model maxes out at 25 frames per second, so it's the highest offering out of all of these cameras. That's followed by the Reolink Duo 3 at 20 frames per second. Same with the AOSU Floodlight Cam Pro, also at 20 frames per second. And the last is the Eufy E340 Floodlight model, coming in at only 15 frames per second. Now, I've used all of these cameras, and even at 15 frames per second is still quite usable, but if you want just the best and smoothest quality possible, it's going to be the Tapo Link. But even at 20 frames per second for the Reolink and the AOSU model, I think that's still easily usable. Let's talk about the viewable coverage or viewable range of all four of these cameras, and the clear winner is going to be the Reolink Duo 3 because of that impressive 180-degree field of view in one single camera body. It is literally a game-changing feature, and it's something that I just can't do without. Now with the other three camera bodies, they all are able to pan and tilt, so they do give you 360 degrees field of view, but you are going to miss some of that action because by the time it actually detects motion, pans over there, even though you set it on the highest pan setting, if it's a fast moving object like a car or someone on a bike or an animal running, by the time it pans over there, you're gonna miss it. Whereas with the Reolink Duo 3, it's a constant 180 degrees field of view. You see when a subject enters the frame, and when they leave the frame, there's nothing you will miss. Where the other three cameras have an edge over the Duo 3 camera is that they can pan a full 360 degrees field of view. Keep in mind though that they do have a narrower field of view, so as they're panning, you're only getting a little bit of the action, and you could still miss ongoing action or new action that's coming while it's actively panning or tilting. The Eufy E340 floodlight cam does have an advantage over all of these cameras because it has vertically stacked camera lenses. It has two of those. So one gives you kind of like a 1x wide view. Again, it's nowhere close to 180 degrees field of view. And then the bottom lens gives you a 3x telephoto view, which is great for making out license plates. Obviously with the other cameras, because it's more focused on giving you a wide field of view, it's not going to be easy to make out license plate at far distances. It would only be like if they were on your driveway. So depending on what you're going after, you'll have to decide which is the clear winner for you. For me, I always want to see as much as I can at all given times. I want to see the trajectory of a subject, of a car. Where did they enter the frame? Where did they leave? Where are they going to next? So for me, it's the Reolink Duo 3 or any camera that gives me the widest field of view. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It truly does help me out, but let's get back to it. All of these cameras are fairly good at motion detection, speed, and sensitivity as well. But the Reolink Duo 3 is still the fastest out of all of them because it has a constant 180 degree field of view. All of these cameras, while they can pan and tilt, they don't have that wide of a coverage area. So basically with the Reolink Duo 3, as soon as something enters the frame from your right side or left side, it detects that motion, you're alerted right away. The next thing I want to talk about is light output, because that can be a great deterrent to, would-be lurkers or suspicious people if your car or, your doorway is just bathed in light. So the clear winner here is going to be the AOSU Floodlight Cam Pro coming in at 2600 lumens, followed by the Eufy E340 Floodlight Cam, which is at 2000 lumens, then the Reolink Duo 3, which is at 560 lumens. Now you can see that's a big difference between the Eufy and AOSU because those are floodlight cameras. They require way more power draw. The Duo 3 is a spotlight camera. It doesn't use as much power and it's a way more compact body. And then it would be the TP-Link AOSU 520WS. Now, having said that, the night vision ability on all of these cameras is fantastic. So even though the TP-Link 520WS and the Reolink Duo 3 don't have a huge amount of lumen output, the way the sensors are tuned, night vision video is still very clear. But in terms of just pure light output and deterrent purposes, the AOSU Floodlight Cam Pro takes the win. Another deterrent is going to be the speaker or alarm or a siren on these cameras, and the clear winner here is the AOSU Floodlight Cam. It is definitely the loudest out of all of these cameras. Then the runner-up would be the Reolink Duo 3 because of that wide, 180 degree field of view. As soon as someone enters the frame, that alarm is on them. It doesn't actually have to pan or tilt like the other cameras. Then it would be the Eufy E340 Floodlight Cam. Finally, the AOSU 520WS. When it comes to build quality, all of these cameras have fared wonderfully even in cold temperatures, and some have even made it through Canadian winter storms without any issue. The Duo 3 PoE camera has no moving parts. The other cameras have to pan and tilt, so there's some motor of some sort, and there's going to be some kind of wear and tear or degradation over time, whereas with the Duo 3 it's just kind of fixed and always looking, so it's going to have better longevity. So let's talk about the app experience now, because a lot of the times you can have a beautiful camera, great build quality, but the app experience is lacking. You could have frequent crashes, it's slow to load up, and it's just not feature heavy. Now, happy to say the app experience is great on all of these camera systems, but Reolink offers something that the others don't, which is dedicated software that you could install on your computer. And that's my preferred way of, monitoring my camera, because I could just install this on my desktop, pull up the Reolink software, and I could see everything on a big screen. It makes monitoring way easier. It makes reviewing video playback way easier to scroll through that horizontal timeline on a big screen. And I can easily just download clips to my computer for easy sharing, which makes it, so much more enjoyable of an experience than doing it on, a small phone screen. The Eufy cameras do allow you to have a web dashboard. You have to generate kind of like a temporary security token to access the web dashboard for a preset amount of time, but it's a little bit more sluggish and it's not obviously, as fluid as using dedicated software. When it comes to monthly fees, and I don't know anyone who likes paying monthly fees, all of these cameras win because you don't need to pay monthly fees to get great functionality out of them. Looking at pricing, the AOSU 520WS is the cheapest, coming in at around 60 to 70 US. That's followed by the AOSU Floodlight Cam Pro coming in at around 140 to 160 US, and then the Reolink 3, which I think is going to retail for about 190 US. It hasn't been released yet. That price may change. I don't know what it's going to go for when it's on sale. And then the most expensive is going to be the Eufy E340 coming in at around 220 US. So which of these do you think is the best wired camera? Let me know down below, but it's really going to come down down to what you value out of all the areas that I touch on. For me personally, it's going to be the Reolink Duo 3 because it offers as most things as I want in one compact camera body. It's easy installation. Having a constant 180-degree field of view is something that I can no longer live without after experiencing it with the previous Duo 2 model. And because it's that constant 180-degree field of view, I get, notifications or detection alerts ASAP because it doesn't miss anything. Now, the other thing I like is the ability to pull up the camera on my computer or to, connect it to the NVR and view it, big screen on my TV. Now, you may also value the Eufy E340 because you have kind of a semi-wide view, but also a 3x telephoto view, so you could punch into, make out license plates. Or maybe you value the deterrent features, like on the AOSU Floodlight Cam Pro, you have a super bright 2600 lumen floodlight and super loud speakers. Or maybe you just want the more budget-friendly option with the AOSU C520S. But of course, you're going to have to make, trade-offs for each of these price points because you're only going to get 2K video quality on the AOSU. So yeah, it's really going to come down to what you prefer, what you value. But after reviewing a lot of these different kind of camera models from different camera brands, the one camera I always constantly leave up on my house is the Duo series because I just get maximum coverage. If you're interested in picking up any of the 4 camera brands that I've mentioned, I'm going to leave some links down below, and also let me know which of these cameras you think is best suited for you. And if you already own any of these cameras, please feel free to share your experience with me as well. And as always, if you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It truly does help me out a ton, guys, and I'll see you in the next one soon.